Greetings and salutations in service to the one. I am Amber Dawn Star, practical mystic, energetic activist, and for over 34 years, master breathologist. Welcome back to my community. Hi there. Well, here again today. Spirit wants to talk about what is a master breathologist. I'm sure most people haven't heard of that term. I've actually coined that term because as a psychologist is to the mental body, a breathologist is to the emotional body. And since the emotional body is where all of our trauma that we've ever experienced is stored, and until that emotional body is cleared and healed and your wounds become scars, your emotional body will be running the show either subconsciously or unconsciously throughout your life. So, a breathologist, that I'm honored to say that I am after 34 years, almost 35, that the process of the conscious holy breath allows you to breathe deep enough that you can actually get in touch with the traumas that are running your life. And now is a perfect time for that. Obviously, we're moving towards the end of the year. Today is the full moon in Gemini, and a lot of energy is coming through today. Not just that, but it is a good time to go in and go deep within and find out what it is that is really running the show. Because you might think that your conscious mind is running the show. Most of the time, unless you've done your healing clearing work, it's your subconscious and unconscious mind, and that is residing in the emotional body. So what am I honored to do to be of service to humanity is to give you a tool, a major tool to help in the recreation of who you think you are. Because of course you have an idea of who you think you are, but probably that's limited. Because you, in truth, are part of all that is, and all that is quite amazing. I mean, really quite amazing. And you're part of all of that. So what happens depending on, your birth, because they call it the birth trauma for a reason, because a lot of times it is very traumatic. It's not just traumatic for the parents, but it's traumatic for you as the baby coming in. And right away, the baby starts gets impressions of this place and starts making, preferences. Oh, I like this, I don't like that. Oh, they like me when I do this. Oh, they don't like me when I do that. And all of that, depending on what it is that they're liking or not liking, goes into the shadow aspect of ourselves. And those are all the parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at, that we don't want to deal with, that we don't even want to acknowledge that is part of ourselves. And unfortunately, though, until you acknowledge it and heal it and let it go and let it become a scar and stop being an oozing wound, you're going to keep repeating the patterns of your life. And I'm sure by this time along, you've probably seen some of those patterns. And you're like, where did those come from? How did they get there? Well, most of the time it's from, the birth and then the, conditioning that each of us have gone through since our birth. And especially us baby boomers, we were still, children should be seen and not heard. You can be punished. You could be punishing to your children, not just disciplining, just punishing. So a lot of us, and especially the empaths and the light workers and the star-seeded children that came into families that were so so dysfunctional and so broken. That started building the wall, so to speak, of our perception of who we are. And really, that perception is false. That perception is so limited as to what is the truth of who and what we really are. So basically, my honor and my service to you and humanity is to help you go in and navigate those places that need to be healed and released. And what happens with the conscious holy breath is that you begin to breathe in a way that you've never breathed before, which is deep. That's the new way, deep breathing. Because most people breathe so shallowly that they never get a chance to feel what's going on in their body, let alone their emotional body. They don't get to feel what's really going on in the physical body. Because the breath is the bridge. The breath is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. And most of us, are unseen. This is just a small fragment of what we really are and where we are. I mean, multi-dimensional, multi-generational, multi-levels, multi-ideas, multiple. So, when you come in with a contract, which is your birth chart. You come in with ideas that what you're going to do, what you're going to learn, what you're going to forgive, what your karma is. You come in with all that. And usually you come in with stuff from that you haven't dealt with from the last time you were here. Oh, isn't it fun? So all of that is stored in the emotional body. So until you heal that, your life is going to be running around like on a hamster wheel. There's probably going to be all kinds of addictions in your life. Whether you think those are bad or not, a lot of people think that if you're, a go-getter and you're just ruthless for money, then, you're great. That seems to be predominant thinking. But, of course, that's not true. But these wounds that you have brought in with you and the wounds that you have carried since your birth, and then depending on where you are on the path in your life that you're still carrying, the conscious holy breath helps you to release that and heal that. And not only that, but allows you to bring the power that you've been holding in the past into the present moment where you need it the most. You don't need your power in the past. You don't need it back there. You need to forgive your everything, pretty much, all of it, because on a deeper level, higher level, cellular level, below quantum physics level, it's all one. It's all related. So whatever the karma is, the victim, the victimizer, it's all connected. So if you can get to the place of forgiveness for yourself, first of all, and the forgiveness of others that have done these things to you, and it's not about and for you, don't forget that, because everything in your life happens for you. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, because some of us have had some frickin' harsh, big-ass horse pills to swallow and integrate. Most people do. They just don't take the time to heal that pill. But the conscious holy breath helps you heal that, and to the point of cleaning it out completely. I call them the overhauls. The overhauls usually take a couple of hours, and you go in one way and you come out completely different from one session. Your life will be transformed, because it's the stone in the pond. You throw the stone in, initial session, and then you expand and keep expanding as far as you want to expand. You want to expand back to the point of remembering who and what you really are, moving the wall, the veiled wall of separation, which is what my generation and previous we came in with a veil. Some of us didn't, but most of us did. However, now there are new humans on the planet, and they came in without the veil. So they came in remembering the truth of who and what they are and where they come from. Isn't that awesome? God, that's why these 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds are doing these magnificent things, because they're new humans and they haven't forgotten. And, the baby boomers were the transformational generation, and without us, they couldn't be here. So, give yourself a pat on the back if you happen to be in that generation, and for the work that you did to get these new humans here. So, allow yourself to breathe deeply the conscious holy breath. It allows you to feel your life force, which most people have never done because they breathe so shallowly, which is so powerful that it will transform these wounds into scars. And the second thing that happens is that you get to come up and touch what's going on in your emotional body. So the initial session, usually the tune-up is what I call that, is dealing with the surface. What's on the surface, what's emotionally going on in your life on the surface. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on emotionally in people's lives on the surface right now. Yikes. And then the overhaul, which is a couple of hours, the tune-up is usually about an hour, allows you to go deep into the basement of the programming and the conditioning and the contract and the karma and the emotional wounds, and start healing it, clearing it, healing it, forgiving it, moving on. Not the action, but the person, because they did it unconsciously. Most people don't do things consciously to hurt other people. There are, of course, sociopaths that do that. However, most people, I would say, just do it because they're asleep at the wheel. Because they haven't worked out their programming or their conditioning or their family line or their karma or everything I just said. Excuse me. So the conscious holy breath will allow you to clear. You breathe like you've never breathed before. You feel what you've been stuffing and putting under the rug and shoving down. And I'm not going to look at that right now. Because, of course, that is energy, and it will build if you don't deal with it. Sorry, did not make that rule either. Believe me, if I had been in charge of that, I would have made some other rules, like, the masculine can have children. Every species, male species on this planet could have children instead of the female, doing it all. Every species does it. It's like, wow. Yikes. So, I've changed that. So you get to feel those feelings in a safe space. Myself and my guides and angels and masters and teachers, as well as your own, create a circle of safety so that you can feel and experience whatever it is you need to feel and experience. And usually, that's deep. Sometimes things you don't even know why you're acting the way you are. You do a session, you find out, and it heals it. So you breathe and you feel, and then you release that energy that's stuck in the past, because that's usually where it is. You bring it forward into the moment, into your power, your own power that's stuck in the past. You bring it forward into the now moment, and you utilize it, because we need you. We need you right now. We need all the light workers we can, and the star seeds we can. And the people that know what the flip-flop I'm talking about, we can. We need you right now. So when you breathe and you feel and you release, then you heal. And then your wounds become scars. And so that's why Breathologist, yes, it might take a few sessions, but it doesn't take as long as psychology. You could do that forever. And it's doesn't take as long as the original wounds took to, start turning and twisting and becoming something that you don't want. So, think about it. Feel about it. Let me know if any of this, if you'd like to find out more. Draw me an email. Right? It's at the bottom of the screen. And like and, subscribe and share and ring the bells and whistles. So thank you for joining me. This is what Spirit wanted to talk about. What is a breathologist? I am honored to be a breathologist, and I am with you through this whole process. And then you get to the point where you don't need my assistance anymore. Then you can breathe your own conscious holy breath. When things start coming at you, you just start connecting your breath and you allow everything to go through instead of sticking. Because there's nothing to stick to anymore. Because you're clear now. So, thank you for joining me. Come back tomorrow. As far as I know, I'll be here. God willing. Om Namah Shivaya. In Lakach. Namaste. El Kalimo. Bye for now. Have a great rest of your day and evening.